Hi everyone, I'm Murat Coskun from Get Golden Visa. We're here today with Madalena Monteiro, a managing partner at Liberty Legal, to talk about an important and unexpected development regarding Portugal's nationality law. Over the last several months, we've all followed the proposed changes to the citizenship rules, and this week the process took a significant turn, which will pause the proposed law and send it to the Constitutional Court for scrutiny. Madalena, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Murat, and Get Golden Visa for the invitation. It's always a pleasure.
Before we go into the details of this week's announcement, can you briefly walk us through the context? What has happened since the government first proposed these changes back in June, the parliament's approval, the president receiving the decree, and now this latest step?
Of course, so let's start from the beginning. In June, the government presented a proposal with major amendments to the nationality law, including extending the citizenship timeline as well as the counting mechanism. These proposals obviously have sparked a lot of debate because they would significantly affect people that have already started legally residing in Portugal. After this, in October 28, the Parliament approved the amended law for the final vote, and then a few days ago, the decree was formally sent to the President that could either sign it, veto it, or send it for a constitutional review. Before the president acted, something unusual and quite bold happened. So yesterday, the Socialist Party announced that they would use a very rare mechanism that only happened 2 times in the court's history to request a preventive constitutional review under the constitutional law. Once the Socialist Party formally submits this request, which is expected to happen next week, the law will be automatically suspended. This means that it cannot be signed, published, or take any effect until the Constitutional Court reviews it. This step is exceptional, reveals serious concerns about constitutional principles such as legal certainty, equality, and non-retroactivity, especially for residents who have followed the rules in good faith.
Right, right. Thank you very much for that. I know a lot of people rightfully felt the proposed amendments were unfair, especially because they could change rules mid-process. What are the main constitutional issues that the court is now being asked to evaluate?
Well, in my opinion, there are several issues, but mainly I can identify 3 problems in the heart of this review. The first of all is extending the residency time that is necessary to apply for citizenship for people that have already initiated a residence permit application. Even though we are dealing with legal expectations, we cannot forget the fact that such dramatic modification into the system, in my opinion, may compromise the legal safety principle in its predictability component. Additionally, regarding this specific topic, since there is a distinction between Portuguese speaking countries and non-Portuguese speaking countries, as well as European citizens, there's also a potential issue here related with the potential violation of the discrimination of the non-discrimination principle according to the country of origin. Second, the most pressing issue, in my opinion, is to change the counting mechanism to people that have already initiated their processes. So the reform states that the clock will only start after the residence permit is issued and not when the application is submitted. And obviously, because of these all these administrative delays that often take 2 or 3 years, this effectively extends the pathway to citizenship far beyond the stated 7 or 10 years. This obviously, in my opinion, raises serious concerns about legal certainty, which is a fundamental principle in the constitution, in the Portuguese constitution. In my opinion, residents should not be disadvantaged by the delays that are entirely on the responsibility of the public administration. And the third aspect that to me seems a little bit problematic as well is the possibility of revoking nationality for certain criminal conviction, because these specific provisions only apply to naturalized citizens. And obviously, according to the Portuguese constitution, once people become Portuguese, they become Portuguese. There is no possibility of discriminating between Portuguese originary citizens and Portuguese naturalized citizens.
I see.
These are all constitutional questions about fairness, proportionality, and legal stability of long-standing residents and their families, of course.
Right, right. Well, thank you very much for that. That's quite insightful. Once the Socialist Party formally files the request next week, what happens next? What exactly will the Constitutional Court review, and what should people expect in terms of timing?
Well, first, the Constitutional Court is obliged to review only the matters that are specifically identified by the Socialist Party. So the Constitutional Court does not examine the bill as a whole. They are limited to whatever it's requested. And the Constitutional Court has 25 days to issue a ruling, so it can take a little bit longer, but it's still a fast process. So there are two possibilities. The court identifies constitutional provisions, and therefore these cannot move forward. The parliament will have to amend or remove the problematic parts, or the court upholds the law and the decree goes back to the president, who can either sign it or veto. So importantly, until the Constitutional Court issues a decision, the law remains suspended.
I understand. I understand. Thank you. And for golden visa holders and other long-term residents watching this, what's the right way to understand this moment? What should they take away from this development beyond just the timeline question?
The development is more than just timelines. It shows that the Portuguese institutions are willing to intervene when changes risk undermining legal certainty for people that have been playing by the rules over the years. So for golden visa families specifically, it's important to remember that residency rights remain unchanged. We are right now in a moment where the law is being constitutionally examined, and institutions are acknowledging the concerns by residents, lawyers, and experts.
And finally, for families who feel anxious or uncertain at this stage, what's your advice?
My advice is to stay informed and above all stay calm. This is not the end of the game. We still have a lot of things that we believe are going to happen. This is a preventive review, and it's actually a positive step, as it allows the highest courts to examine the law before it takes its effects. Use this time to stay organized, prepare your documents, continue your planning, and once the court rules, we will have clarity, and each case can then move forward with legal certainty. This moment is about ensuring that the system remains fair, predictable, and constitutionally sound.
Right. Thank you, Madalena, for your insights. We'll continue monitoring developments closely and share verified updates as soon as anything changes. You can read our article on the subject on our website, getgoldenvisa.com. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you very much.